Yeah, show off that knife. That's a very interesting.
This little knife, if you can see, it's got little turtles and it's very decorative on the outside. It's a hard handle. I don't know what material that could be. A wood maybe, or some kind of like a clay. I'll get a little closer.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's like a plastic clay. It's got little knuckle guards for baby battles.
So I don't know if like a baby warrior might use this knife.
Even smaller baby dagger.
Here's your baby dagger for even smaller combat scenarios.
That's like if a, oh man. I was gonna say if a little person had a baby. A little baby. But then I guess they grow up, they come out normal size.
A baby's baby dagger.
An interesting blade that I got from Ace Hardware for $2.99 is this Lopper Blade. This goes on a limb lopper for trees, not humans or other animals. But this is for cutting down limbs. When I say that, it goose me up. But I thought it'd be interesting to throw, and it's like pretty much already a knife. There's only $2.99. It's a big piece of steel, and I can throw this like a shuriken pretty much, or any other knife. If I don't think we've shown this, but if you guys want to see it, let me know. Put it in the comments, and I will throw this.
I don't think we have either.
We'll do it all in one big miscellany video. Pretty much suffice to say, unless it's a really strong folder, we probably won't throw any of the folders if you guys give a damn. Unless you guys really want to, in which case we might.
We might break a few knives.
We might have to
break a few eggs.
If you want to make an omelet.
This is a butterfly knife, you could call it, and it's so it's on hinges. You know, you guys are probably familiar with butterfly knives. I'll spin the knife for you. Here, how do you do this?
Yeah,
you can open it. You can close it. You can close it again. You can open it again. Whatever you want to do. And I don't know any tricks really with this, but so there's that one. And does it say anything on there? Reno and Toledo. Reno and Toledo.
It's another maybe Spanish knife.
Could be Spanish. It sounds Spanish.
Toledo.
Toledo sounds Spanish.
Dang, so this is a knife that I've had forever, and if you guys don't have a quality Swiss Army knife, I would suggest going and getting one if you're a knife enthusiast, because I've used this thing for so many different things. And I used it just last night, in fact, because it has a toothpick and it's rice stuck in my teeth. And then, I mean, I've used the blade to cut my hair. I've used the two different screwdrivers to fix countless little things. I guess you can't see right now, but look, little Phillips head. You guys have seen Swiss Army knives. Just go get a nice one, and you'll find uses for it. Mine's Victorinox, and I could speak highly of that company because this. I mean, I've had that thing since I was 12, I think.
Yeah, and I've got a Swiss Army knife. I guess we'll go into that. This one says Berlin on it, so that's. I don't know if it's from Berlin or if it's from China or wherever.
China.
It's from. But it's got all the standard tools, corkscrew, and it doesn't have scissors on it or anything like that. But it's a nice knife. Can't complain about it, really.
Corkscrew?
Corkscrew.
For unscrewing corks?
Yeah.
Moving along, I've only got 3 knives left. But you guys have seen these Wes Hibben custom design knives, most recently featured in our triple knife throw video, or real life Genji video. These knives are awesome. I can't speak highly enough about them other than their handle coming off. But they're great practice knives and beginner knives too. Especially because you get 3, so you don't have to be walking back and forth through your target. You can throw 3 knives, hopefully stick 1, and then your next goal is to stick 2 knives out of the 3, and then eventually all 3, and then however many sets of 3 you can do. So they're great to learn, and they're pretty damn cheap too. So if you're looking for a good starter knife, the I can't remember which Hibben, but Wes Hibben custom design knives. His brother, I think they might be related. So there's Wes Hibben and then there's Gil Hibben. One is the knife guy and one is the axe guy. So I have this axe and that is Wesley Hibben. So then the knives must be Gil Hibben. And unless I'm just on something else. But yeah, both their designs are great and I like them very much. My favorite axe and my favorite knives, kind of.
I'm gonna go with this knife because it's cool.
That one's sick.
This one's cool. I got this at a knife show not too long ago.
You can get something like that.
Yeah, and it was sold to me by a pretty shady figure, but it's got a button on the side. I don't know if you can see that, and it is very switchblade-like. It's only sharp on one side, but I've been working on sharpening the other side, which is kind of an illegal modification, if I understand that correctly. But it's super satisfying. It's one of my favorite knives just for the satisfaction of being able to retract it.
And it's pretty sturdy. I mean, I was dubious of that thing's strength to be able to like stab or do any damage, but I've like kind of tapped against the ground and really tried to depress that knife when it shouldn't have been. You know, you think it's gonna retract, but it doesn't, unless you really want it to. So it's a pretty damn, I would use that knife if I needed to, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty sturdy. It feels very sturdy. It's a hefty knife.
Yeah.
Solid.
Very cool. The noise it makes is like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Man, so I have 2 more knives left. You guys have seen this knife too. Maybe I'll hold it up to that camera, get that camera some action. This one too. This is the, oh goodness gracious. True Flight Thrower, cold steel True Flight Thrower. This is a great, also beginner knife. If you're looking for a larger knife to throw, maybe you like the no spin style of throwing more than the spin style, this might be better for you. It's like very clearly a full tang knife. It's just one big hunk of steel and then this sick paracord handle that's wrapped around. And it came with a cool sheath, so this one is great as well for throwing.
It's hard to say.
You can see how much I've thrown it too. Like the tip is, this whole thing was perfectly black, and now I've managed to throw it so much that I've scraped the paint off of the tip of this thing. So just goes to show how much I enjoy throwing it.
I like that. That's one of my favorite knives of yours because it's like a big steak. It's like one long straight.
Yeah, yeah.
Very sturdy looking.
Straightforward knifey style of knife.
Straightforward knifey style. So then there's a knife that's not very solid. That's kind of a
great example.
Kind of a flimsy knife, and it looks kind of like a pirate knife. It's a cool design, and it comes out, and it's a little bit of a weird shaped blade, but it's if you listen, there's definitely a lot of play, and probably could be solved by tightening it up. Dudes! Stop being a dude! But the handle is wooden. This brown part here is wooden, and then the gold, I don't know what that is. It might be plated gold because it's starting to corrode. Or it might be plated with a gold color, rather. It's starting to corrode. But
that's like one of those old knives you get in St. Augustine, one of those little shops in St. Augustine.
Yeah, it looks like a St. Augustine type of knife.
Oh, Sparky. My last knife, and you guys haven't seen this one yet, but this is called a cold steel, what is this called? Oh, okay, yeah, so I have the True Flight Thrower, and then this is the cold steel Sure Flight. Now, I wish I would have cleaned up my knives before I showed them to you. These all have corrosion because I left them out in the dirt outside. But this thing is a spike actually, so there's no real blade on the side of it, but it's just a point. And then I've attached it to this rope here, so I have a rope knife, and then you attach a weight to the back of this, and then I can throw it similar to Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. So it's a fun way to throw a knife. It's especially if you get into knife throwing and you're looking for something new and interesting. Maybe something just to impress your friends. I don't know how combat effective it would be, but I wouldn't mess with someone swinging a knife around on a rope. So maybe we'll do a video. We have some footage and maybe we'll clip it in or something like that. But let me know if you want to see a whole video. I can do a tutorial about how to use these things and different tricks and such.
Yeah, definitely let us know, because we're eager to show off the knives that people want to see, especially. Yeah, so my dad got these knives, and they come in nice little tins, and they're mostly for show. But JJ mentioned that a lot of these knives, they're Civil War pictures on these, and a lot of these knives are for the South. So JJ, feel free to explain. You were kind of going over these a lot more than in detail. The pictures, you can see for yourself the pictures. They're pretty interesting.
This one has a fine Texas on it, it looks like.
And these knives are not extremely sturdy. They feel a lot more like plastic. They're definitely for show.
They absolutely, that's a good point. The outside of these things kind of are, they're definitely made of plastic. And then there's like a thin metal inside structure that allows the knife to function.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're ever, maybe they weren't ever designed to defend the South. Yeah, here, I'll get this one.
It's, this shows some soldiers riding into the fray of combat.
Heroic return to whatever city. It looks like Baton Rouge or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere in New Orleans.
Here's what looks like a war council talking in the field. You see the Southern flags flying.
We should check and make sure, because there's like the Dixie flag and then that, yeah, I mean, that's gotta be it. I mean, they're wearing the gray suits and everything. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta fight for one side or the next.
These guys are wearing blue, actually. I don't know what the,
Maybe we're idiots. We could very well just be not well educated.
They've got the Southern flag, and yeah, maybe we're not exactly.
Because there's supposed to be like a difference between like the Dixie flag and the Confederacy flag and the daddly doodly daddly doo. There's all that hubbub about it 2 months ago, so don't hit us with your comments. We don't care.
Oh yeah.
We don't care if we're wrong.
We don't care if we're wrong.
It's probably not the first time we've been wrong, and certainly won't be the last, so get prepared for that.
Yeah, prepare yourselves.
Us
Prepare
being
yourself.
ill-educated. Ooh, yes. Yes, I want to take the best knives.
That's right. Do exactly.
Turtle knife.
This thing is another turtle knife. I really made out of a wooden type of material or some kind of clay. I don't know how they sculpted this actually, but tiny little knife, not for combat purposes, surely. And there's that.
Mostly for turtles. It's about the size of a turtle.
It's a turtle killing knife.
Yeah. So if you've never heard of a turtle knife before, it's probably for good reason. They're not really, I don't know, they're not super common. This one is one of my favorite knives of Jesse's, and it's probably unfair that I get to display it, but I picked it up, so that's right. It's got this wooden handle, black metal exterior, and then also, interesting, on the pivot joint, it's a rivet instead of a screw, which means that that thing is going to stay put probably pretty well. Now, there's no like thumb deployment, so there's no real quick way to deploy it other than like a little open and snap, but this is another Spanish knife. And it doesn't seem to be any coincidence that Spanish knives are of high quality, it seems. This one is called an Andujar. It looks like a lot of different dots over the U's and the J's and that, so I don't really know.
And if you guys know anything about the history of these knives or the making of these knives,
let us know.
We don't know a whole lot, so please leave in the comments if you have any information at all. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jesse, because I would, we're not coming from a position of a lot of knowledge, as you might have ascertained.
No, we just have a lot of knives.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You can do that wolf one as well. You
I like
comment for that wolf one. So here's one of my favorite knives. This is more for like a effective, multi-tool type of purpose. It's got a seatbelt cutter. It's got a window smashing little pin on top. And then it folds open, and it is a Smith & Wesson border guard. It's got a serrated part of the blade. And
Tonto blade.
Tonto tip there. And it's got a really nice
it's sturdy. That thing is, for a folding knife, that thing is, I would trust that thing to puncture a semi-tire.
Definitely.
And not close on your hand. You should never try and puncture a tire with a knife, because it'll explode, and then the knife will most certainly cut you.
Fly into your neck or something.
Yeah, don't do it. It's not worth it.
But
just let the air out, then stab it.
There you go. That's a good technique. Let the air out first.
Then stab it full of holes.
Yeah, that's true.
Once you're sure that's not going to explode, especially not a semi-tire, you're going to be regretting that. Take it from me.
The stabber of many semi-tires.
Franklin Mint collection knives. So Franklin Mint, this is a pretty cool knife. Once again, it's kind of one of those knives that is not the craziest of quality as far as the outside material, but it is better than those commemoration knives. But this thing is awesome. There's a huge, let me get this close. It's like a huge iron wolf's face on that thing. So you got kind of like a non-lethal option. The wolf bite, you can just hit someone right in the head with that instead of actually having to use this knife. Now, I'd never carry this thing around with me because it's too heavy. It's about the weight of a gun. It's got a pretty interesting blade, and it's sturdy, man. You could whittle with this. This would be nice. It's got the wolf gives you a nice counterbalance and a place for your hand. So I really like this knife, just the way it looks. The fact that there's a wolf's head on it is sick. Oh yeah, and then Dwight Schrute would really like this because you got the howling
wolf pack.
The howling of the wolf. I don't know if that's coming through with the glare.